Hi, I am Shorty Biscuit and welcome back to my channel. I have here the newly released EcoFlow River 3 Plus. This is a 600 watt power station with 1200 watt X boost, which means it can power some appliances up to 1200 watts. It has an internal battery with a 286 watt hour capacity. Similar to EcoFlow's original River series, this one also has expandable batteries, the EB300 and the EB600. The EB300 adds an additional 286 watt hour of capacity. The EB600 adds an additional 572 watt hours of battery capacity. I only have the Plus, that's just the device without the extra batteries, and I'm going to get it open and set it up, see how it works. Manual. It's the wall plug. This is a cable, it's a USB cable, a communication cable. This actually connects to a UPS. And the car charger. So in the box you have the wall cable, the car cable, and the USB cable. And the unit. Let me get this box out of here. It is out of the box and it is 10 pounds. So this one weighs 10 pounds. And you can see on the front here, there is one wall outlet. There's also two USB-A outlets and the USB-C outlet, in addition to the 12-volt cigarette lighter. There's a light bar on this one. What's different is on the back here, you also have two wall plugs to use, and this is where you would charge it. So this is the wall charging, this is the solar and or car chargers, and this is the USB COM port. And there's a little door that goes up and down. So when not in use, you can keep the ports covered. But in the back, which is an interesting location, this is where they added two of the AC ports, wall plugs. And on the front, there's the other one. The USB-A, USB-C, 100 watt USB-C, and the 12-volt plug here. So I'm going to turn it on. I suspect it's going to be around 27% in terms of power. Generally, that's what they ship with. So let's get it on. It is turning on. It is exactly 27%. No, I didn't turn it on before. This is actually my first time turning on, and it is 27%. This is generally somewhere between 27 and 30% is what EcoFlow ships these power stations at. So I'm gonna get it all charged up. I suspect it's not gonna take a whole hour to get it charged up. Let's see. Oh, I had the EcoFlow app on my phone and it immediately picked up the River 3 Plus. I didn't have to do anything. It just picked it up. So I'm going to add that and I'll go through the process, and I'm going to use my phone to monitor the progress of the charging. I have to set up the Wi-Fi and all these other things, but yeah, it's a pretty nice screen. You can see on the screen here, it says 27%. It will last 11.5 hours. There's nothing plugged in, but just so you know, power stations, while they're on, they do pull power for it to stay on, connected to the Wi-Fi battery management system. So if you don't want them pulling any power, you need to turn it off. And so, yeah, input 0 watts. There's the Bluetooth button. So that's initially what is going to connect to the phone with is Bluetooth. Once it's connected to the Wi-Fi, it switches to Wi-Fi. If you don't have an internet connection, it will connect again with Bluetooth, which means when you're out camping, road trip, whatever, wherever you are, you can always communicate with it using Bluetooth. If you are anywhere where it has Wi-Fi and you're connected to the Wi-Fi, then you can monitor it remotely. It is connecting to the network. And I can see now a Wi-Fi symbol blinking at the top of the screen here. It's binding the device to my phone, which means my phone, my device, it knows who it belongs to. Device connected successfully. And here we are. It's asking me for the home page style. I'm currently going to go with the classic style, but I do see there's a new version. Matter of fact, let's go with the new version. And there we go. So it has some instructions on how to turn it off, how to switch devices. There we go. Input, output, everything you need to screen. Oh, the light. Let's turn the light on. This is my first power station with a light, and let's see how that works. It's on. Oh, gosh. It's a yellow light. I didn't expect it to be so yellow. There's a dimmer, so I'm going to bright. And then there's SOS mode. So there are 3 options on the app for the light. There is dim, bright, and SOS. I suspect even on dim, this is not going to be very dim in the dark in a tent, but it might be just enough light that I don't need to, hang up another light in the tent. I see on the screen it has an output of 1 watt. So to power the light, it takes 1 watt. Seemingly, if I were doing nothing but using the light, I would have probably about 280 hours, maybe 275 hours, accounting for loss of it running just the dim light. This is actually pretty cool. It is very slick and sleek looking. Something a lot of people have asked for in the past, which I could agree with, would be a wireless charger up here, so I could just put my phone down and have it charging. It doesn't do that yet, but in the meantime, I have the USB, and I am going to get this plugged in with the wall plug and charged up. I have it plugged in and it's charging. It says 42 minutes to full charge. This is with it charging at an input right now of 365 watts and climbing. What generally has happened with the power stations while they're charging is they start off and then you'd see the wattage climb that it's taken in to charge. And as it gets closer to the full 100%, you'd see that dropping. I don't know what those numbers are going to look like for this, but right now we're at 367 watts of input and it's going to take, it's already dropped 40 minutes for it to be full. While it is charging, I am checking out the settings on the phone. These are standard for EcoFlow. I renamed it, of course. And you can set the charge and discharge limits. You can schedule tasks, input and output settings. So you can set the charging speed for input. If you don't need it to charge quickly, like something's about to happen and you need it to go now, you can set it to a slower charging speed. This way it preserves the battery capacity over time. So don't always leave it to the highest. You can drop it to 200 or 300 watts of input. Right now it's still at 367 and it's changing all the time. And this way you preserve the battery life. You can change the DC mode, the car input mode. You can turn it on and off, the X post. So it is right now set at 650 watt for maximum input. And that is what it is on this device. On my Delta 2, it's like 1.2 kilowatt hours. I don't even remember, but it's lots higher. It is also has an option for silent charging, which says the device will be charged at 80 watts to prevent fan noise. I'm sitting right next to this thing. It is quiet. I hear absolutely nothing. And that's something that they've advertised about the River series, the new River 3 series and the Delta 3 series, is that they're very quiet. And so far, that's proving to be accurate. It is fully charged at 100%. It took a little bit longer than the 41 minutes that it said it would. It took just about 40 minutes to get to 99. And then it sat at 99 for a little while longer, probably like 5 or 6 minutes before it finally hopped to 100. At 100, you heard the audible click when you knew it got full, and I unplugged it. So as I mentioned earlier, this has an extra battery, and usually with the extra batteries, there's a cable to connect. With this new River 3 series, there's no cable. Under it, there's a port here. You remove the rubber cap, and this piece, you see all the holes in it. just sits right on the extra battery. That's the EB300 or the EB600, and that's how it charges. When not in use, you can, you know, cover it back. But yeah, so you just sit it right on top of it, and that's how you get the second battery. The second battery also can be used to power something. So it has a USB-C 140 watt USB-C port, so you can use it to charge things as well, which is pretty cool. They don't have to be together. However, you charge up both of them together. This one sits on top of the EB600 or the EB300, and you charge them up. So there's also a button here for the light. So you press it once, low, press it again, high, press it again, SOS. So in addition to be able to control the light from the app, you can control turning on and off the outlets from the app. The USB-C from, I'm not sure when they started doing this, but the USB-C and the USB-A ports are always on. So as soon as you turn on the device, these are always active. There's a special power button to turn the 12 volt on and off, and another power button to turn the AC on and off. So the USB-A and C stays on full time. Once you turn the device on, they turn on, but these require you to turn the ports on and off. And there you have it. This is the new River 3 Plus. 2 AC ports on the back. These are inputs, these are outputs. Nothing on the sides but the fans, which I have not heard yet. It is so quiet. At one point in charging, you could see there was a fan symbol on the screen. I heard nothing. This is truly quiet. I can power my, I wonder which ones. I can definitely power my Dash Mini appliances. Those are all under 400 watts, but I think I am actually going to try it with my Instant Pot, 3-quart Instant Pot, and see what I can make. Maybe some oats, maybe scramble some eggs. I don't know, but tune in. I couldn't decide what I wanted for breakfast, so I ended up with a bowl of cereal. And so I am skipping to making lunch today. It's going to be shrimp and broccoli with rice. For rice, I use the pot in pot method in the Instant Pot. So this is the 3-quart Instant Pot. So there's water in there. I put this in here, put some rice in there, equal amount of water in there. There's already salt in this water. One of the good things about it having the ports in the back is that I can easily plug in the AC outlet. It is already on. I usually use the pressure cook button. There's a rice button, says 8 minutes. I could then, you know, make changes, but I usually just use the pressure cooker button at 3 minutes. And that is it for the rice. The rice will cook in there. I like the pot in pot method because then I can just take that thing out and the pot itself is still clean. It is on and it is pulling currently 500-600 watts. When I check the sticker on the back of this, it's rated for 700 watts of power. This is a 600 watt power station. However, with the X Boost, it goes up to 1200. So it should totally power this for as long as it needs to. Well, you know, up to the battery capacity, of course, but that should be fine. It will power it. Right now it's sitting around 600 watts. The rice is started counting down, so it's at 2 minutes. So you set for 3 minutes, and how the Instant Pots work, they take some time to get up to pressure and then they start counting down. So it started at 3, it's down to 2, and we're at 53% power. The output is 0. So once it got to pressure, it's just sitting there. It's not really pulling any much power from the power station at the moment. I don't know at what point it may turn back on or off, but I'm gonna let this get to 0 and let it sit for 5 minutes before I release the pressure and then start cooking the rest of the food. It has been 5 minutes since the countdown finished for the rice, so I am going to release the pressure and open it. In the time that it's been sitting for the 5 minutes, it lost 1 more percentage because it was at 53 and now it's at 52. So once it comes to pressure, it doesn't seem like it pulls any more power from the device. It pulls most of the power while it's coming to pressure. So as soon as the pin drops, I'll get the rice out and get the rest of the ingredients in. all of the ingredients are in the pot and we're down to 38%. So I am going to just let it sit there and cook on saute for a little while. I've stopped the saute and now I'm going to put it on pressure cook for 0 minutes. This is kind of pressure cook, and I'm going to 0 minutes. The shrimp will be done in 0 minutes. So the 0 minutes is just how long it takes to get to pressure. It's not going to overcook the shrimp, and the broccoli will get steamed. We're down to 8% right now. This is still not to pressure, so I guess we'll see how much longer it's gonna take. It says 1 minute, and I don't think, yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it. Yep, and it just died. So it's at 7% and it just turned off, and this isn't done yet. So the fan was on and you could barely hear the fan, but it did not make it through this whole meal. So I am gonna plug it into a wall outlet to get the food to finish, and we'll see how much longer the food takes. It took another 6 or 7 minutes to get this done. So for the most part, it was able to make lunch. And there you go. Shrimp and broccoli and rice made in the 3-quart Instant Pot using the EcoFlow River 3 Plus. It almost made it to the end. Just almost. I started 100%. It stopped at 7% and then shut off. I don't know why it shut off at 7% versus 0, but we have a meal. Time for lunch.